Hello there, International Math 1 students. This is MVP Module 1 sequences, and we are working on task 1.3. What we're going to work on today are, from your RSG homework assignment, is some of the set problems. And the set problems are asking us to use given information to make a decision which equation is going to be easiest to use to find the indicated value. You're going to find the value, and then you're going to explain your choice. It's important to explain your choice thoroughly so that I completely understand your thinking. Okay? So we're actually going to do problem 7 and 8 directly from your assignment. So if you have completed that already, you can check your work. If you have not, you are welcome to take that out now and complete it as we go and work together. Question number 7 is where we are going to begin, and it gives us two different equations, essentially meaning the same thing. It gives us the explicit equation, y equals 3x plus 7, and it gives us the recursive equation, which is written in verbal terms. That's what we've been using so far. The now, or the needed term, equals your previous term plus 3. And we can see this pattern occurring in the table. So if you look at any given term, so term number 1, the value is 10, and term number 2, the value is 13. So we can see that increase of 3 from the first to the second term. Likewise, from term 2 to term 3, from 13 to 16, we see an increase of 3, and from 16 to 19, which is our new value that we have discovered, the value for this piece of the table would be 19. So you can kind of see that that is happening. The recursive term is very easy to see the visual. It's very pretty straightforward. We're just adding 3 with every additional term. Okay, so now the tricky part, or what you are being asked to do, is to determine if we're being asked to find the fourth term and we already have the third term. We know that the recursive equation is the easiest, and that would be the choice to make when you are trying to find the indicated value. Okay, so from 3 to 4, we know all we have to do is add 3, and that is using the recursive equation, this little pattern, in order to help us. So our explanation here is that because we already are given term 3 and its output value is 16, that makes it very, very easy to simply add 3 to the value of term 3 in order to get that fourth term. Okay, so that's the recursive value. Now, on the flip side, for problem number 8, we are given actually the exact same explicit and recursive equation. Remember, both of these equations match this table. Okay, they're just expressing the pattern or the relationship in a different way. Explicit equations are equations that are very, very precise in how they tell us what they do with some input value in order to give us an output value. And recursive equations simply tell us you have to know that previous term in order to be able to get the now term, or the term that you are seeking. All right, so what we're being asked to do in this particular table is not find a very easy to find term number output value, but we're actually being asked to find the output value of the 50th term. Now, I don't know about you, but adding 3, 50 times in a row, number one, you set yourself up for some potential arithmetic mistakes, especially if we're trying to mental math and do this very quickly. And number 2, that just is time consuming. So what we want to do in this case, the very best choice in order to find that 50th term would be to use the explicit equation. Alrighty, so in that case, I simply, just like we have done before, I would take 50 as the term number, and remember that that is the x input value, and so 50 would be substituted for the x. 3 times 50 is 150, and then we would add 7, and we get 157 as our output value for term number 50. So you really, using the recursive equation in this particular problem, it would be tedious and it would set ourselves up for error. So it's much better to use that explicit equation in helping us to find the 50th term. All right, so an official answer in terms of explanation. I just said you can just plug 50 in for the x value in order to find the y value. It would be a pain to repeatedly add 3 until you get to the 50th term. So the whole purpose of this little assignment is to get you seeing the difference between when it's an appropriate situation to use a recursive equation and when it is an appropriate situation to use an explicit equation. And there are times when one is better than the other, and it is very important to be able to distinguish those, what's better to use and when.